Hello, beautiful friends. Tonight, we return to the story of Patachārā, to the moment after she gave birth in the storm. This is part 2, the beginning of a night that would change her life forever. After giving birth to her second child on the cold, storm-soaked ground, she gathered her strength and held her newborn close to her heart. Her body was trembling from exhaustion, and her mind still trying to understand how everything had changed in just one night. The world around her was too heavy. She began walking step by step, carrying the newborn in her one arm and guiding her little boy with her other hand. She followed the same path her husband had walked hours earlier, because before the storm grew, her husband had said gently, "Stay here with children. I am going to find dry woods so we can make a fire to keep warm." Those were the last words she heard from him. Now, as she walked along that muddy path, her feet sinking into the cold earth, she hoped to see him returning, maybe carrying a few branches, maybe calling her name, but instead, the forest was too noisy with the rain. She continued walking, her eyes searching the ground until she saw something lying down beside the bushes. At first, she thought it was a fallen log, but as she moved closer, her breath caught in her chest. There he was, the man she loved, the father of her children, lying down, still cold and lifeless. He was bitten by the snake in the cold, dark, rainy night. She kneeled down beside him. Her whole body was shaking. She touched his face. It was already cold and dark. She closed her eyes and holding back the tears that threatened to consume her, she whispered to herself, "I must keep moving. I must protect my children. I must return my parents home." Holding her newborn close and guiding her little son by the other hand, she continued onward, determined to reach her parents' home. But the storm had swollen the great river Asirawati. The current was too strong. She knew she could not carry both across at once. She looked at her two sons, one barely walking, one still newborn, just coming to the new life. So she made a mother's impossible choice. She placed her older boy safely on the river bank, then cradling her newborn against her chest and stepping carefully into the rushing river. Each breath a hope, each heartbeat trembling whisper, "Just let me reach the other side." At last, she reached the other side. She placed her newborn gently upon a bed of the leaves beneath a tree, promising to return in just a moment. Then she stepped back into the river, Halfway across, she looked up the sky and everything changed. A big eagle from the sky, mistaking the newborn as a mate. She screamed and waving her arm desperately and then shouting so loud, "Go away, go away, go away." Her older son, hearing his mother's voice from across the river, he thought she was calling for him. He stepped into the water. Before Patachārā could reach him, the current took him away. In one heartbreaking moment, both her children were swept away from her world. One carried by the river, one carried by the sky. She stood between the two banks of the river, stunned, frozen, suspended in a grief no mother should ever face. And in that moment, her heart cracked open entirely. Everything she loved was gone.